Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and this is going to be a weird video for me to do, but I decided to talk about this subject because it's quite fascinating to me, and people might not understand why I talk about this, but I'm not usually one to talk about celebrities or some of that nonsense, this constructed false reality that we live in sometimes with these people and this bullshit, that people talk about. But, I've been finding a lot of interest and fascination with the whole Johnny Depp, Amber Heard trial. And I can't believe I'm fucking talking about it. Oh my God, you're talking about that. Oh my God, I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty stupid and just like talking about celebrity culture and all that shit. But this case, I'll give you several reasons. So, the man himself, I kind of identify with his like ideas and his like influences and interests, and also, coincidentally, if you follow all the bullshit about astrology, there's a similar, very similar. Surface level configurations that are similar between me and him as well. But not only that, but I thought about this, why am I so fascinated? The movies he picks, just they're always some kind of fantastical, weird, with diminishing quality through the years. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of his, or at least for a while it was kind of going bad. I think he's kind of picked up a little bit better roles lately, but the identification with this whole situation, I think, is related to that. And just, I was never like a huge big fan, but I'm like starting to kind of like see a little bit more of what the appeal is and stuff too. But I'm a big fan of Alice Cooper, and he's in that Hollywood Vampires band with him too. It's very fascinating. The guy, he chose to be like John Carpenter. He went into a different business, quote unquote, altogether. But, in later life, he became a musician, even though, he didn't become a musician. He went back to what he was originally doing. I think John Carpenter is the same way. So I'm going to delve into this. I've thought about this a lot and why I'm so like intrigued by this. Well, I would have to say that growing up, I was around a lot of substance abuse and a lot of chaotic personalities, relatives, grandparents, all sorts of stuff that was going on as a kid. There was some abuse that I witnessed too, and I, heard rumors of abuse, and there was all sorts of stuff going on with various relatives and stuff, and also friends of friends, family, distant family, blah, blah, blah. So all these situations with this dynamics of this relationship, and even actually after I was an adult, I experienced some of this. I identify with because I've seen it so much. And I've seen, men in more of that passive position. But also, I relate to the whole thing that he's like a quiet, or what you would call Johnny Depp a kind of a socially awkward but like theatrical person. I guess I'm kind of like that because I try to do these grand gestures like music and all this other stuff where I'm really at the front of the audience, and then at work I have trouble asking questions to people sometimes and stuff, and I'm so awkward and shit. But then I go out and never mind, I'm not going to talk about that part of it. But anyways, so it's really interesting. I find a lot of interest in this trial because it's such a fascinating character study of these people that are involved. And I don't think I'm going to go into some things that I think about the relationship in general. I think I wouldn't expect Amber Heard to be the kind of woman that Depp would be after. Now, as unacknowledged as it is in mainstream society, but if you go to the manosphere, or any serious social scientist, or even sociobiological researcher. Men are attracted to younger women, as I've said a million times. And as you get older, sometimes the age goes down. Like your first wife might be 2 years younger than you, and then your second wife is 5, and then 10 or 20 or whatever. That's average pretty much, especially if you gain more material wealth, which has evaded me, but anyways, eluded me somewhat, but so far. But that's kind of what happens with a lot of these relationships and stuff, or a lot of these things that happen. That's just a fact of life. Doesn't mean that it's bad that you be with someone your own age, or be bad with, it's bad to date someone older if you're a man than you, or something like that. I know people that are in that situation. It's all up to you what you want to do in your life, and sometimes relationships work out better that way, than one way or the other. King Diamond is married to a woman 25 years younger than him. He has a kid. It doesn't seem creepy. Even maybe the original getting together might have been messed up or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it was questionable at the time. Maybe she was. I don't know. Who knows? But nevertheless, he's groomed her or whatever some feminists might say, or whatever. Who knows? But I don't know. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy that would groom someone. Unless anything's grooming nowadays, it seems like with the Dave Ellison thing, that was pretty stupid to say that. But this isn't about the age thing anyways. This is just a kind of a side note. So my whole thing is, okay, yeah, the guy's going for that younger tale, an older guy like Johnny Depp, right, with Amber Heard, and she's very hot. I mean, I think she's even somewhat more attractive. She's a little more pudgy now, because she's a little older now, but I actually find her more attractive, and it sounds really fucked up, I'm sorry, but I find her in the courtroom, she has this look, it's really attractive. I don't know why, but I just find her really fucked up when I'm talking about this. But not pudgy, I wouldn't say, but just a little bit more filled out. I was watching a couple of movies of hers too, and I've been trying to catch up with both of them, because I'm just fascinated by this. I don't know why. Like I just said why, but anyways, so one thing that I question though is why her. He said, he had some mental connection with her during the Rum Diary filming, and she talked about the same blues singers or something like that. You see, it sounds like me. It's like I said, I relate to this. Oh my God, I went on a date with she was talking about this and that, and we were talking about one of my exes or something. We were talking about she was talking about anarchism on the first date or something. Actually, it was a true story. Stuff like that. Wow, we had such a connection. It's he sounds like someone he's not the kind of guy that's and this is a debate between me and certain people. Oh, you don't have to have anything in common. You just have to have a hot face, chemistry or whatever. Me or someone like Depp have. It doesn't mean that we can't date someone like that, but without going into other esoteric territory, that's the kind of personality type that we have. We kind of like that, people that are of that creative. Some certain people that are introverted but creative, certain types like this type of thing, have this type of dynamic. So that said, she doesn't really seem like that type to me that would date him. She seems like, just watching some of these movies, it's in a dance club and some bad auto-tuned fucking bro step influenced dance songs on the. Because I watched this Paranoia movie last night with her, and was yeah, she doesn't seem like the type that would date. Just the roles that she picks some of the time. Not all the roles, but a lot of the roles she picks. He picks all this weird shit. I mean, either really indie or really fantastical Disney thing. Since Pirates. It's she picks all these roles, and she just seems like a. I'm gonna do a metaphor here. I'm not bashing these social types, but just imagine in high school there was this weird kid, but he was like kind of like sought after a little bit too. Like, who is that guy? Who's that quiet guy? He like paints or whatever, but he's also like smokes too a little bit. Like, he's kind of a bad boy, but he's an artist at the same time. And like the preppy cheerleader mean girl starts dating him. That's kind of what it seemed like with her. Like, it's just like, it doesn't seem like, I could see like, even if you wanted that younger, I'm not going to say the word, but I was going to say something obscenely, it seems kind of kind of chauvinist. The un-P. I'll just say that. I don't like to say that word. So even though I have several relatives that used to say that kind of stuff, but you know, if you wanted that, why not go after like some kind of weird like indie rocker that's like that in that age group back then? You know, like some chick in the artistic field or something like that. But this chick that was on this movie set that was all, I don't know. But, you know, I think she suffers from severe mental illness, you know, and he suffers from, a mental illness as well. It's a toxic relationship. Did he do anything wrong? Yeah, he obviously did. Did he do what she's accusing him of? As time goes on, it seems more and more doubtful. But there are people like that out there that lie. And one of the things about this whole thing is that a lot of the more nefariously witch hunt style things about the Me Too movement that offended me years ago, if you watch my channel, you know that I've been pretty offended by these things, like these blog posts like, oh, hitting on women is sexist, or flirting is it's not, doesn't go that far, but it kind of infers like, oh, flirting is evil. Just like passively sit there and wait for the woman to say, please flirt with me, and give affirmative consent. That's how far some of these fucking nut jobs go on these blogs and stuff. And I got really crazy about it in 2014, 2015 about that stuff. This kind of puts a knife to a lot of that, you know. It kind of separates the bullshit from, you know, the reality is that it might have backfire too far, but we needed a little, you know, pendulum had swung way too far with Me Too and all this stuff, because people are just like, oh, this actor pinched my butt at a party 40 years ago. I'm still traumatized for it. I don't even mean like Epstein or, you know, like actual like hardcore assault, or, you know, someone, it just became like this little thing, like this tally of victimhood, like, oh, how much am I a victim? I lie. Oh, by the way, this person did this to me. Oh my God. You know, it's like Anton LaVey talks about like this victim society and all this stuff, and it kind of relates to that. But the pendulum had swung way too far in this situation towards that, in my opinion. And it's not like some of that wasn't legitimate or necessary, but it went way too far. And this is kind of where if it is true what Depp is saying, his deposition is true. Get it? If it's true, then this is kind of the balancing act of that whole thing. So those are just my thoughts about it. That's about all.